Welcome to Choose 80 Zoom Room, Limahl. Lovely to see you.
Oh, how are you today?
Thank you. Lovely to see you. Yeah, I'm good. I've had a walk in the park.
I see you've got your Christmas tree up, Limahl. Looks lovely.
Yeah, just for things like this, you see. Yeah.
We need some Christmas spirit.
We do. Yeah, we certainly do. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of interviews for the Christmas single. So I normally don't put the decorations up until usually the 1st of December.
Same here.
But, yeah, it feels a bit, but you know what? This year, I think everyone's like longing for something positive, aren't they? So.
Oh, definitely. And I think you've provided that, Limahl, in your new single, One Wish for Christmas.
Oh, honestly.
So lovely. It's really festive and the video is just wonderful. It really evokes London and when everyone's doing their shopping, and it really boosted the spirits this year. So congratulations on that.
Oh, it has really touched the moment. It's captured. Everyone wants to be with the people they love at Christmas. So it couldn't have been it's the most perfect song.
Definitely.
And it almost didn't happen.
Why was that?
It was so close to not happening. Well, because you know, it was done 7 years ago. It's a slightly different song with a different production. And because of COVID, I thought, you know, those lyrics are really kind of relevant this year because they talk about all the things we can't do. So I contacted my co-writer and producer, Ian Kerno, in June, okay? And he said, okay, I'll look for the files from like 7 years ago. He couldn't find the files. Then July, couldn't find the files. Then August, couldn't find the files.
Oh, no.
September. Then he had to like backdate some software. I think I found it. He said, oh, it's not the right version. Then he's talking to support lines, you know, for software, and which was not easy in COVID. And finally he got the files and we got them up and we kind of in the process of because the original idea was just to reproduce the music, you know. It was gonna stay as London for Christmas. And then in the process of doing it, I was lying in bed one morning, as you do.
Quite a lot recently.
Yes. And I thought it would be so cool to get some recognition for my Christmas song, you know, because I love the song. And I don't love all my songs, you know. It's there's plenty I don't like, you know, on shelves and whatever you tucked away. But no, I like this song, and I was just thinking to myself, oh, wouldn't it be a great gift to get some recognition for the song? And then I was going, one gift for Christmas, which became One Wish. And then I WhatsApped the guys and I said, guys, I've had this lyric idea. So to come back to the original story, so then Ian, the producer's going, well, we haven't got time to re-record the vocals, and I'm working on such another project, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we squeezed it in. I recorded the vocals at my place and I sent them remotely to Ian. And yeah. And then making the video in COVID is the same, you know, almost didn't happen. But you know, I like a challenge. And I really, I've always wanted to do a Christmas song, and I just thought, never, can't be done. You know, everybody's written about snowmans and wrapping presents and chestnuts under the tree, you know, everything. I just thought it can't be done, but it was always there kind of on my bucket list, if you like.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to write a song about London. I combined the two, London and Christmas. So there were like two on my bucket list, write a song about London. Because we've got songs about San Francisco and New York and Chicago, but not that, you know, not that many about London.
Brilliant. So it's gone into number 22, hasn't it, in the Heritage charts this week?
Yeah.
So you've got two singles in the Heritage charts, and Still in Love. I love that song. It's fantastic. So that was the first ever number one of the Heritage chart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's been in the chart 17 weeks, which shows how good it is. What was it like to have a number one again?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Because, you know, when you're working on something, you just don't know how it's going to be received. I did really like that song myself. because it was quite personal. You know, I Still in Love was a place that I was familiar with, you know, in terms of getting your heart broken, which is,
Yeah.
you know, we all get our heart broken. It's part of life's journey. You know, people might look at me in the outside world and say, he's got a great life, but, you know, we have the same pain, the
That's
same
right,
struggles,
yeah.
the same.
Exactly. We're all human
But
beings, aren't we?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, it's been interesting because it was never really my plan. You know, it's quite easy and comfortable to just keep working around the world. You know, Too Shy, Never Ending Story, global hits. We're talking number one almost everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm always working at music events, whether it's for corporates or for music festivals or TV shows or whatever. Radio events, and that's quite easy and comfortable, and it's great, you know, because
Yeah.
I've done all the hard work in the past, and but I wasn't really planning to start work, because it is hard work, you know. It might not look it, you know. I mean, certainly being creative is fun, but there's a lot involved in the, you know, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of time, there's a lot
of interviews.
Well, and also financially, I mean, all this stuff that people are enjoying costs money, which is why I'm starting a shop.
Oh yeah.
What are you selling? What are you selling?
Well, it's going to launch in the next few days. You're the first people I've told about it.
Oh, brilliant.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. I'm selling a lot of things, actually. Yeah, there's going to be first of all, One Wish for Christmas. There's going to be CDs, which I'm going to sign.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I may do the same with Still in Love. We'll see how it goes. There's T-shirts, there's hats, there's laptop cases, there's loads and loads of things. I'm really excited, and just want to say this: I have seen every product myself and I will have given it the okay. But I'll be saying all this on social media. I haven't just ordered a load of stuff. Really good quality control, and it just helps. It will help to finance all the stuff that people enjoy basically for free.
Yeah.
I mean, the watching the video of Still in Love, that costs money. They're watching the video of One Wish for Christmas, that was very expensive. You know.
I can imagine, yeah.
So will it be available on your website, Limahl, the shop, or will it be a separate website that people go to?
There'll be a link to the shop. I think it's going to be called limahlstore.com or something. I'm not quite sure.
Going back to your number one hit, Too Shy, back in the day, Limahl, any memories from that magical time? It must have been amazing to get sort of number one so quickly.
Yeah. I have so many memories, you know. I guess at 23 years old, I really didn't understand what it meant, you know. I mean, I was excited. I was more excited about going on Top of the Pops.
Oh, I bet that was incredible.
That would be one of the memories, you know. And hearing it on the radio the first time.
Yeah. Too Shy, it was co-produced by Nick Rose of Duran Duran, wasn't it? How did that relationship start?
Yeah, I met Nick Rhodes in a nightclub where I was a waiter. I was working as a waiter.
We can't not mention your hairstyle, of course. Where did that come from? Was that your own style, or did you have a stylist that suggested it? Because it was a standout feature of the 80s, one of the most prominent hairstyles of the entire decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever so slightly, eh?
Was that you? Did you have that before the band, or was it developed as part of the band styling?
There were no stylists around in those days. It was very organic. I was in a musical theatre show called Godspell at the Palace Theatre in Westcliff-on-Sea, and in Godspell you got 6 guys and 6 girls in the cast. We're all disciples, 12. So they got a blonde girl, a brunette girl, a red-headed girl. One had wavy hair, one had curly hair. all the guys had like boring hair. It's like, so I went to the director and said, look, all the guys are exactly the same. The girls look really different. I've always quite fancied going blonde. And so he gave me his blessing. I went off to a local salon in Westcliff-on-Sea, and thankfully I didn't come out orange. And so I was blonde in that show. And I was about 19 or 20 then. Kajagoogoo happened when I was 23. So, and in the interim period, I started adding these like black bits, which was a little bit punk influenced.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare for the hair.
Yeah,
it was a nightmare for the hairdresser because, you know, to dye the black bits without getting it on the blonde bits afterwards. It was of its time.
Yeah.
Where did the name Kajagoogoo come from, Limahl?
Yeah, we had a list of names. We were throwing some names around. When I met the band, they were already a 4-piece band called Art Nouveau.
Yeah.
And they wanted to kind of change their name because I was the new member and we were kind of going off in a slightly different musical direction. So we're throwing names around. And one day the bass player, Nick, came in and just said, what do you think of Kajagoogoo? Well, I loved it immediately because I loved anything that was a bit wacky. Two of the other band members who were not convinced.
That fun element to it. I think that's what everybody loved, that sort of fun, unusual element to it.
I think there were bands around at the time with names that were like a play on words. So you had Bananarama, you had Eurythmics.
Yeah.
You know, they were sort of playing with a word, although of course Kaja or Goo doesn't really mean anything. I think it's just Nick being silly.
Yeah, it was great.
Because he's a very funny guy.
So with Kajagoogoo, you obviously had huge success. You had 3 top 10 hits. You were everywhere on every TV program, and obviously it was a shock for all your fans when we heard in Smash Hits and the newspaper that you'd left. It must have been a really difficult time for you, and then to pick yourself up to go into the solo career. It must have been quite a tough thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue. You know, we played to 40,000 people in Finland the day before. They'd already planned to fire me in a phone call. They didn't tell me because if I got upset and hadn't performed in Finland, they would have got sued for lots of money. So it was this kind. It felt like a real kind of underhanded plot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I think, to be honest, they've probably regretted it a lot more than me because, you know, they've really not had any success as the 4-piece that they wanted to, and they put a big question mark over themselves really as a creative unit. I think the record company were really angry with them because they tried desperately to keep us together, but Nick wouldn't have it. I only found out 10 years ago that the record company rang the manager, tried everything to keep us together, and in the end they called Paul Gambaccini and said, look, can you help? And Paul got everyone to agree to not split, but the only guy who wouldn't agree to it was Nick, the bass player.
What a shame. What a shame.
A crazy decision, because the Beatles were a teeny band, the Wham were a teeny band, Duran were a teeny band. You know, if Kajagoogoo didn't like being a teeny band, we would have grown up and evolved with our audience.
Yeah, exactly, as they all did. And I think it was such a shock for all of us, you know, because you were on you were so high in the charts all the time, and to suddenly hear that and read that was so shocking, you know, for the fans.
It was lovely to see you going onto solo stuff.
Yeah,
it's tough because suddenly I didn't have my mates. You know, I thought we were mates. It was great going everywhere with your 5 mates. You know, there's a real kind of camaraderie.
Yeah,
I miss the creative teamwork really, because they're all, you know, and also, you know, suddenly I'm out there without my musicians, without my creative team. it was a bit scary. Thank God I met Georgia Moroder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because your hit Never Ending Story, that was a top 10 success, and it's been resurrected recently on Stranger Things.
Top five actually, not top 10.
It was number 4, wasn't
number
it?
4. Yeah, number 4. We know.
Top 5.
Top 5. Yeah. Top 4.
Top 4.
Did you watch Stranger Things, Limahl, and see your song played on there?
I've seen the scene. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happened was after that broadcast, Netflix's Stranger Things, the streams of the song went up to like 1.5 million a week.
Wow.
Or was it a day? I can't remember. It was just huge.
Because you've got a whole new audience really from that.
I've got a whole new audience. Then American Horror Story, another big kind of teenage show, used Too Shy, and they had a guy playing me. Have you seen that one?
No,
I haven't seen it. I've heard about it, but I haven't actually seen it. So did he have your hairstyle and everything, Limahl?
He had my hairstyle. He had a bad English accent. He was an American actor. He didn't realise it, but he sounded Liverpool for some reason.
And you're a Lancashire boy, aren't you?
Yeah, but we have a different accent. It's more like Coronation Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wondered if you take part in a Simply the Best quickfire round. So it's basically 6 questions, 1 sentence answers if possible. You okay to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Brilliant.
So the first one is favourite song of the 80s that's not your own. And I know it's different every day probably, but today choose one.
So much choice.
There's quite a few, but I'm going to go for Einstein a Go-Go by Landscape. It's got the most original intro of a record. I mean, it'd be in the top 5 of original intros. Check it out, people.
Yeah, and I haven't heard that for ages. I need to play that. I love it.
It's got that thing at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is why we're not singers, Limahl.
Well, you missed out. The most original bit was the phone call. So you hear the dial, the old-fashioned dial, and then and the lady goes, "Hello, the White House. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I can't put you through to President Carter." Well, the reason is, and then another phone call in Japanese starts, and then another phone call over here in another language, and the whole thing is kind of crazy. It's brilliant.
That's what we're going to listen to when we get off of this call. Definitely.
The full version. And what was your favourite children's TV programme, Limahl? Going back to being a youngster, what was your favourite television programme?
Yeah, the cartoons really, Scooby-Doo and Top Cat.
Oh yeah, they were good. Yeah.
And the theme to Top Cat was absolutely brilliant as a kind of swing. Top Cat, the indisputable leader of the gang.
I like it when he gets in his little dustbin at the end. He cleans his teeth and everything.
Yeah.
Officer Dibbles.
Okay, third one is most embarrassing or funny moment of your career. Has anything happened on stage or any funny fan mail?
I once got sent a toenail by a fan. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, you still have that, don't you?
She said, I've grown it, especially for you. I've saved it. I couldn't believe it. It was literally, I opened the envelope and this fan had sent me a toenail. I mean, what?
Weird.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. Maybe it meant a lot to her.
Yeah, maybe. Well, for toenails, what was the highlight of your career, Limahl? That was obviously not, but what was the...
Oh, there's been a lot. There's been a lot, but it felt really great to get an award from the very famous songwriting team, Bacharach and David. So Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
How about your favourite musician or most influential musician or band?
I'm going to go for the big producers. I'm going to go for either David Foster or Trevor Horn. So David Foster's American, Trevor Horn British. both amazing musicians, songwriters, producers.
Lastly, Limahl, on these quick fire questions, what's your best motto or philosophy in life that you'd like to share with everybody?
Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today, because if you do it today and you like it, you can do it again tomorrow.
Oh,
Brilliant.
one.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, finally, Limahl, before we go, apart from your shop opening, have you got anything else exciting coming up? We know that you've been on the That Was Then, This Is Now show, which is exciting, new Top of the Pops. Is there anything else you're doing?
Yeah, I keep threatening to make an album, which would be 25 years since the last one.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh,
so have you made a start on that?
Well, I'll probably start in January, and then we'll just see how it goes. I'd like it to be ready for sort of August next year, but we'll see. I don't want to put myself under any pressure.
No.
I've kind of got to that point in life where I want to enjoy the journey as much as the getting to the destination, you know, because all my life I just feel like I've been going zip, 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 and it's pressure, 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 and I've got to deliver, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I just want to do it in a more chilled way and enjoy it, and hopefully with the vaccine,
Oh, and you obviously
crossed. Well, we look forward to seeing that, Limahl, in next year, hopefully, fingers crossed. And good luck with the Christmas single as well, and hopefully that'll get to #1.
Oh, we're hoping so. It really deserves to. Thank you so much for talking to us. Hope to catch up with you again.
Lovely, a pleasure to talk to you.
Have a good Christmas.
You too. I'll see you next year at one of the music festivals.
Oh, yeah, let's hope so. We'll see you there.
Hopefully.